Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Several members of the Body and Soul cast, crew, and production team received some special cupcakes via Messenger, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, November 18th. Since the desserts weren't in a Sweet Bits box, many people were curious about their origins and sender, especially since the card just mentioned that they were part of the Body and Soul family. The supplies, however, arrived on a significant day for Body and Soul because their debut streaming episode was about to air. With the exception of Bonnie Kiriaki's Judy Evans, who hadn't forgotten about the poisoned biscuit incident from the previous year, these cupcakes didn't trigger many red flags. Out of concern that his cupcake would be tainted, Bonnie threw it out when she came over to watch the show with Alex Kiriaki's Robert Scott Wilson. Because Hattie Adams, Deidre Hall, had promised retribution, Bonnie pretended that caution was a good idea. Alex ignored Bonnie's worries and, after she left, took the boxed cupcake out of the garbage to eat. On Monday's days, Johnny DiMera talked to EJ DiMera about his issues at the DiMera mansion since he was having trouble with remorse. Joy Wesley also stopped by for supper last night. EJ essentially forced Johnny to suppress his guilt because Chanel didn't need to know what had transpired. In order to hide what Johnny and EJ were hiding from Chanel, EJ pretended to be discussing a case he had been arguing with Paulina Price about. Paulina showed up and gave EJ a slap just as he was ready to devour the cupcake he had brought to the town square. While Paulina was venting about Johnny's treatment of Chanel, EJ dropped the cupcake and decided they should keep their distance. Joy finally accepted Chanel's invitation to watch the inaugural Body and Soul streaming program on the internet. That caused some embarrassment for both Chanel and Johnny, who ended up eating a cupcake. Joy was acting strangely, and Chanel dispatched Johnny to see how she was doing because she seemed ready to go as soon as the episode ended. The fact that Joy accepted Chanel's invitation and exacerbated their problems gave Johnny the opportunity to snap. Joy reminded Johnny that he had vowed not to discuss their night together, but he appeared more worried about the promises he had broken in marriage. Chanel mentioned a script to Johnny in one of the Monday's Days episodes, and she implied that Arrow's cover-up was worse than his offense. Chanel pretended that Faith's inability to move past it was not her fault. They chatted about how much fun they had the previous evening when Leo Stark woke up in bed with Javi Hernandez in his hotel suite. Javi also chose to stay and watch Body and Soul with Leo, so he could be late for work. At breakfast, Leo boasted that he had 3 months' worth of Body and Soul scripts on his laptop and emphasized how crucial it was to keep the specifics confidential. Leo opened the bathroom to see Javi in bed using his laptop. He was pulling up the episode there rather than on TV because, as Javi described, he wanted a more personal viewing experience. Javi acknowledged Leo's talent after the performance and said they will do it again soon. As they exchanged farewell kisses, Leo and Javi appeared to be quite into one another. The network was happy with Body and Soul's success thus far, so Abe Carver provided Kate updates on some positive news in the office on Monday's Days episode. Abe, who had eaten a cupcake earlier, became ill and reached for a trash can to throw up in, though Kate assumed this meant there was nothing to Hattie's curse. Bonnie returned to Leo's room during Monday's DOL show to discuss their debut streaming episode with Leo. When Leo checked the fan comments online, he was shocked to read a post from a lady whistleblower imitation. What was about to happen on Body and Soul was revealed by someone claiming to be Leo's former gossip queen. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, this imposter lady whistleblower will cause a lot of trouble, so we'll share our predictions for what will happen after these releases. Days of Our Lives spoilers week of November 18th. Lady Whistleblower returns in today's Days of Our Lives recap, while Body and Soul cast and staff are delivered enigmatic cupcakes. But Leo is not what I mean here. Days for Leo and Bonnie. It's the day everyone's been waiting for as Salem comes together to see the inaugural episode of their hometown soap, Body and Soul. Johnny is discovering personally how difficult it is to keep a secret from his wife. As they enjoy a romantic moment, things heat up between Javi and Leo. Abe's got all his fingers and all his toes crossed. But will that be enough to ward off the series of bad luck that's been suffered by the cast and crew of the program he and Kate have fought so hard to bring back to life? Tuesday, November 19th, Days of Our Lives spooky hints. Well, this cannot be good. Body and Soul's whole cast and crew ends up sick. Perhaps it is time to stop this little experiment? Pretty please? Anyone who thought they'd seen, or heard/read, the last of Lady Whistleblower will find themselves thinking again. Gabby isn't delighted by Javi's growing connection with Leo. But her brother is about to defend the relationship. It may be tricky to disagree with Johnny, who feels as if maybe he doesn't truly deserve Chanel. When Alex and Joy get together, will they be running lines? Or crossing them? Days of Our Lives spoilers for Wednesday, November 20th. Kat thinks it's time that Clyde be dealt with. But will Chad go along with her plan for doing so? JJ opens out to Gabby. The bloom might well be off the rose when Leo puts Javi on blast, accusing him of betrayal. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, November 21st. Sarah is ready to try and walk. But will she be able to put one foot in front of the other? When Ava is through with Brady, he'll have no qualms as to exactly where she stands. Holly learns to see Tate in a completely new light. Sophia is feeling severely depressed, but someone is there to try and brighten her spirits. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, November 22nd. Roadblocks be damned, Sarah is bound and determined to walk again. Kristen wants to know precisely how close Brady and Ava have gotten. Joy discloses to Alex that she shared a bit of history with Johnny. Meanwhile, Johnny is in a dilemma with his wife. Things will get more than a little awkward when Philip and Stephanie reconcile. Kristen questions Brady over his increasing connection with Ava. Salem is filled with numerous good-looking gentlemen, and we encourage you to check through our photo collection below to witness soap's handsomest leading men of all time in our photo gallery below. Richard Sims/Amy Mistretta. The audience will inevitably begin to speculate and wonder what happened and why whenever there is a backstage shakeup at a performance. And that was still the case when Days of Our Lives revealed that it was hiring new head writers and reorganizing its writing staff after 7 years. These changes are always difficult, but when Michael Fairman asked Deidre Hall, Marlena, and Susan Seaforth Hayes, Julie, about soap within a soap body and soul at Day of Days, they might have provided some insight. We anticipate that many fans will be relieved to hear the news that accompanied it. Evans stated simply, "Body and soul is done." And that, in my opinion, is what drove previous head writer Ron Carlivati out. We've finished it and will return to the stories of the people. We had some laughs, some cringes with Body and Soul, and now we're back to telling the story of perhaps real people in real situations, Hayes said, summarizing everything fairly well. In an interview with Soaps.com during Day of Days, executive producer Ken Corday reinforced this sentiment, stating that the program was returning to its core of character-driven storytelling, emphasizing romance, passion, and interpersonal relationships, while also eschewing the supernatural. Actual individuals in actual circumstances. However, Hayes' remarks also seemed to reflect the feelings of many fans regarding the contentious plot. Some people liked it, and some people laughed about it, but many of them thought it was embarrassing and wished they could go back to telling stories about their characters instead of creating a soap opera. Believe us, when we asked people how they felt, the responses were rather clear. Although there is no information on when the soap within a soap will be finished, since it was dropped along with the shift in the writing regime, it should be finished by spring. Although there is currently no practical way to determine a timeline, it appears that the show will encounter some significant issues as it finally gets off the ground next week. This is not to suggest that it won't conclude before then.